Pack your bags. Lions are headed to the NFC Conference Championship game. Oh. Yo. Listen, man, my birthday's Tuesday. All my life, the Lions have never seen a conference championship. We've never been in the playoffs this long. Always, by the time my birthday rolls around, I'm already just begging God that spring would arrive and the draft would be here and the flowers would be blooming and we could prepare for what is next year and I could maybe enjoy a little sunshine. This year, somehow, January is friggin' flying by and the Lions are in the top 4 of the NFL. Lions headed to San Francisco as major underdogs, and honestly, I kind of like it that way. Look, the fact that we're here, the fact that the Lions are where they are, like this is a team that you and I, if you're watching this video, you're probably a Lions fan. If you're not, welcome. Thank you for hanging. My name is Jay. But this is a team where back in probably week 15, sitting with my buddy, I was like, I think we go to the NFC Conference Championship game against San Francisco. But my only fear was round 1 against the Rams, if that was to be so. Here we are, Lions taking down the demons of the past. Matt Stafford moving on this week against the Bucs. I was never really that worried the whole time. Last 2-minute drive, when they get the ball back, last 3 minutes, when the Bucs get the ball back, I'm like, hey, listen, our defense has done a pretty good job today. I believe in them one last time. Derek Barnes comes through in a way where he said, hey, I know all you guys remember all that I did against Dallas, and by all that I did, all that I missed when we could have had the sack against Dak Prescott, win that game where he potentially could have been the number 1 seed. Who cares? Derek Barnes reaching for the sky. I believe he could fly, intercepting Baker Mayfield to solidify a W at home. This has been a wild trip. It has been incredible. And just some winners, losers, some guys that I got to really pull out and give the nod to, and some of the guys that we got to be careful heading into San Fran. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, all the props to Frank Ragnow. Frank Ragnow, and what Mike Tirico, I believe it was Mike Tirico, said when they talked about him saying, Frank Ragnow's words, basically paraphrasing, all I've done is lose in this city. I've done a ton of losing. There is no way I am not going to be out on that field today, unless there's something major. But in his mind, he was like, doesn't matter. And Frank Ragnow took some hits, got his ankle or his knee rolled. Like, he was taking some shots, and that man has been stalwart up front, just protecting Goff, holding the line. Hold! Frank Ragnow deserves a medal. There's a reason why he is considered one of the very best centers in the league. Everything that guy has given us. Frank Ragnow, from me to you, from all of Lions fandom to you. One thing I love is knowing that across the board, across the United States, who is not rooting for the Lions against San Francisco? Other than people who live in the Bay, like, I can't imagine there are people anywhere that are really I even think, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're a Packers or Bears or a Vikings fan, I think we got people in our own division that are pulling for us, which is wild. I've had conversations with people who are fans in our own division, and they're like, yeah, you know what, I'm pulling for Detroit in this situation. So, long story short, we got the whole world behind us. Let's go win a conference championship and get to the Super Bowl for the first time in the Super Bowl era. Will the Lions be able to make it? This matchup is going to be good. San Francisco is a team that I wanted to play in the regular season because I wanted to see how we matched up against them. I didn't know week 4 or 5 if we would ever get to see them this year. Here we go. And I think we stack up pretty well. And we know how good our run defense is. Obviously, there were some struggles yesterday against White, but I think we were kind of relenting. So how will we match up against McCaffrey? That's stuff that we're going to talk about. But again, some other winners and losers from this game. I don't want to throw out the word loser. I would say some struggles. Cam Sutton's struggling. Cam Sutton is struggling. He is not a true cornerback 1, and we have put a lot of pressure on him to be such. Having C.J. Gardner-Johnson back out there is super helpful. But Cam Sutton is going up against wide receiver ones everywhere. Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, you name it. You name it, Cam Sutton is going up against the best. And yeah, there's some struggles and he's making some mistakes. But still, he's also come through in some clutch moments that cannot go unnoticed. So before everybody just simply says, get rid of number one, calm down. Calm your horses. Hold your horses. Humpty Dumpty, something like that. Weird parable in and of itself, Humpty Dumpty, but I digress. Got to talk about Jahymr Gibbs. Remember that 12th overall, first round draft pick by the Lions where everybody sat there shaking their head saying, these idiots? Who's saying that now? Nobody. Jahymr Gibbs had 9 carries for 74 yards, a TD, 4 receptions, 40 yards. Guy was electric. Making people miss in open space. Like, Jahymr Gibbs has been such an addition because you have the bowling ball in Montgomery who will just knock down a pin or two and keep going before getting dragged down. And then you have Jahymr Gibbs who says, I'm lightning in a bottle. His speed, his agility, the versatility that he offers. We lined him up way out on the outskirts, on the line, like on the sideline. What we do with Jahymr Gibbs is beautiful. And I was a little worried. Not going to lie, I was a little worried knowing that Ben Johnson had an interview. And I was like, is his head in the game? Thank God. Because if we had lost, you know what? There would have been 100 different reasons why. But I would have just been like, this is why. I would have chopped it up to that if we didn't put enough points on the board. But no, man. I just think Gibbs is electric, period. The guy is astounding watching him play. And, man, ain't nobody complaining about that pick, huh? You also have Sam LaPorta yesterday who had 9 receptions for 65 yards, averaging 7.2 yards per reception. And the thing about the Bucs we knew was the Bucs were ranked 30th in the NFL at covering tight ends. They couldn't cover tight ends. And so if Sam LaPorta was able to shake and bake and get open, man, dude could pick up some yak, and he did. There was a couple plays we're watching him, even with the knee brace, shaking some linebackers, shaking some defenders, getting open. It was a beautiful thing to see, followed by our fearless leader at the helm, QB, Jared Goff. Man, what a story. What a story. Seeing 16 come back from the dead, being casted out by LA, beating LA, coming in here again, another home game, taking down the Bucs to go to a conference championship game. Like, hey, listen, man, I get it. If LA looked at him and they said, you're not the guy for this team that we have constructed to take us to a Super Bowl and win it, hey, so be it. I'm glad you did. Glad you got rid of him. Because here he is for us going 30 for 43, 287 yards, 2 TDs. And should we forget him moving the ball forward with his legs? No, we shouldn't. Goff had a day. He is in rhythm. Now, it took a little bit for our offense to get rolling. Took really until, honestly, the second half. You know, the first half, it was 10-10 by the end of it. And we saw some struggles. We saw a couple, 3 and out here. There was the one play where Goff should have led St. Brown a lot more, and they could have had a pick. It was a gift. It was a gift in the end zone to the Bucs. They just dropped it. But, man, I am proud of the boys. J-Mo as well. Him getting a couple receptions. There was that one odd play where my dude just didn't extend his arm. Like Goff threw him pretty deep route, and I thought he probably could have snagged it, but he just didn't put his arms out, and it looked like it landed right in front of him. It was weird. I was like, maybe he didn't see it. I don't know what happened there. Bizarre, but good to see us kind of getting J-Mo involved. That's an area going into next year that I need to see the Lions really step up. Defensively, another key player, Afatu Melifonwu. What? Friggin' Iffy has stepped up. Since that Denver game, dude has come out. He has absolutely earned himself a spot on this roster and as a playmaker on the roster. Him bringing the pressure on the blitz against Baker. Him in coverage, like, Iffy is a guy who has astounded me, surprised me, shocked me, and quite frankly, I love seeing what this young man has been able to do, especially in a secondary where we've had some struggles, and he's made a name for himself. All props go to Iffy. Also got to give it a Hutch. Got to give it to the line, applying a ton of pressure. I think 4 sacks on Baker Mayfield. There was a couple where he actually also got out. I think there were 2 where we could have brought Baker down, and he just sort of scurried out, threw the ball away. That one where it was a sack, and he literally, we should have challenged the play. It's all right. It all worked out in the end, but we could have challenged that because his calf was on the ground, and that should have been a sack as well. So we applied a ton of pressure to Baker. Mike Evans also helped us out a lot by dropping the ball over and over and over again. I don't know what was going on, but hey, he's a Pro Bowler, not Amon Ra St Brown. Let's just remember. Interesting. Pro Bowl, what a joke. Anyways, Lions 31, Bucks 23. Lions, the underdog, heading to San Francisco. Drop your immediate thoughts in the comments. How we feeling getting ready for this game? I'm hyped. Hopefully we get Khalif Raymond back because Donovan Peoples-Jones returning punts is not the best sight. He can catch it, but he cannot move with it. Really showing his age, in the words of my buddy Josh. But hey, man, huge win. Huge win. Get amped. We have another week of football in Michigan. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. It feels so good. I don't understand it. Normally, we're just sitting on the couch watching another team play, thinking, well, if in week 4 we had just done A, if we didn't do the fake, if we had just, and then we construct an entire scenario in which we are in the NFC Championship game. You know how many times I've done that? Too many. I'm kind of embarrassed about it. But here we are. Actually here. Oh, yeah. Check this out, dude. It's in the last phase. So I had been making those magnetic tiles, these grids that, stick to one another via magnet. They're modular for D&D. It's pretty sick. But I also said, okay, instead of just making all of these 3x3s to fit the characters, why not make some 12x12s? Now, again, I have to hit this with a dry brush followed by a nice ink wash, so it's not going to look exactly like that. It'll have more of this type of look. I think you can see that pretty well. Boing. That's what it'll look like, but the entire play then is so that characters play on a, you can probably see that. You can see that pretty well. That's Osiris Bellhorn. He's a cleric dwarf. He's awesome. Loves the drink. Loves the drink. And then, lest we forget, Salazar Bucklebeard, a half-elf monk. This guy's crazy. He's kind of got like a Gilderoy Lockhart vibe, but also like he's not actually dumb, like he knows what he's doing, but he's kind of got that very out there attitude. But yeah, it's pretty sick. So then I got this one followed by, I got to paint this one brown. This is black. You can't really get a good look at it probably because of the lighting, but it's wood. I don't really know if you can see that all that well, but it's a wooden tavern. So the same thing again. So this way you have like a tavern modular set. It's 12 by 12 inches, so it's 60 feet technically going across, and then this way you have yourself a little tavern set up. It's pretty sweet. I got to paint it brown, do the wash, do everything on it, but pretty happy with it. It's been a fun journey, and yes, I have been filming it the whole time. I'll probably put out an entire how-to on my other channel. You can check that out once that's ready. I'll let you know. Hey, go Lions!